This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Coming up on Your Guess is as Good as Mine, our categories, the best sports cities in the good old USA, and we have the fattest states in America. Your guess is as good as mine coming up after the random question. 206-421-ROCK.
Random.
Hello, Candy. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, my dude.
Hola. Candy, welcome to the program. Thank you for calling in on the random question. Let's see here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Candy, what did you run over, and what did you run over it with? What have you run over?
I ran over a Dalmatian.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it didn't kill him immediately. Took him to the vet. Right in front of his owner, a young man, standing by waiting for his bus, and his parents had told him to train that dog, keep that dog away from the cars. He chased me for months, my tires. Didn't see him at all. He just dashed out from the side. It was horrible.
And he finally caught you, though.
Yeah, he finally caught me all right, and I offered to buy him another puppy, but the parents were like, no, that was not your fault. But still, it scarred me for life. It was awful.
Yeah.
How old was the owner of the Dalmatian?
I'd say it was 12. 12 years old.
Oh, yeah. You know what? They're very difficult dogs to train. They're known.
Yes.
They're notorious for being not the most intelligent of dog breeds. And dogs are smart, but this dog apparently is just.
Well, people are smart, but
not in any way, shape, or form. Apparently, these are because like with 101 Dalmatians, they went on an all-out blitz even before the internet. Like, please, I know they're cute. If you're thinking about
don't adopt this dog unless you're prepared.
Don't get that dog unless you're going to spend 100% investment of your time into it trying to train the damn thing.
My buddy had they adopted a Dalmatian. They got a puppy. It was years and years and years ago back in Baltimore. And they had a Dalmatian puppy, and it was a nice enough dog. Kind of dumb, but also it's a puppy, so you can't really tell. But anyway, there are some guys in this field, and they, of course, they're badasses. So they had pit bulls, and they're trying to train these pit bulls to fight. All right. So this Dalmatian wanders over to where these pit bulls are doing their thing. And the dudes with the pit bulls are now holding the pit bulls back. These pit bulls, they're barking their faces off and snarling. And even though it wasn't my dog, somehow I get elected from the group of normal people to go over there and retrieve their Dalmatian. Now, at the time, I had this very large shepherd. And while the dog was very big and looked mean, it's the biggest candy-ass dog you've ever seen in your life. But if you don't know that, you don't know it. So
yeah, it looks big.
I walk over to get this Dalmatian, and I'm just like, fellas, I'm just here to get the Dalmatian. And they're snarling at me the whole nine. So the leader of that particular pack's like, yo, man. And now he's looking back at my dog. He's probably about 30 yards away. But my wife at the time is holding this dog in place, where he's just, woof, woof, woof. So the guy's like, yo, man, why don't you let go and see if that shepherd come over here and fight? So in this moment, I'm like, oh, no, this is not a situation I want to be in. But I realize the guy I'm talking to is also stupid. And that's the advantage of talking to dumb people, just outsmart them. So I looked him right in the eye and I said, listen, homie, if she lets go of that dog, this is a former canine dog. It was not a former canine dog. If she lets go of that dog, it's trained to attack people. He's going to rip your throat out of your neck. You will drop to the ground dead. You want me to tell? I'm like, okay. He's like, no, hang on. So I walk back.
You ain't got to go that far.
Oh, yeah. So, look, the Jedi mind trick, trust me, that's a 100% lie. I would have been mauled to death, right? So I get this Dalmatian. I'm walking back toward the group, giving back the dog. So next time, you got to get your own goddamn dog. And I left.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want no part of this.
Reason we asked, what did you run over and what did you run over it with? The Northern Colorado Wildlife Center team wants to remind people to keep an eye out for turtles on the roadway. By the way, they say if you find an injured turtle that's been hit with a car, do not touch it. A snapping turtle was sent to the Northern Colorado Wildlife Center in Colorado after being run over by an industrial lawnmower.
Oh,
there's turtles in Colorado?
According to the organization.
Apparently there's a lot of them, Ted. I thought the same thing.
There is apparently a healthy population of common snapping turtles in Colorado, so accidents like this, they say, are not necessarily uncommon. But they say common snapping turtles are an important member of the ecosystem. They can live to be up to 100 years old. The turtle sustained injuries near the rear of its shell, presumably after being hit by the blade.
Yeah,
which required it to be treated with pain medication and antibiotics. How do you know, like, if the turtle's
hit me again, Doc. Hit me again.
It hurts.
The good news is,
and I also like these turtles. I'd be salty every time they reference them. They call them common.
Yeah, I know. Common
turtle has recovered well, and there's no longer a risk for infection, so it's going to be released back in the wild in spring of 2022. It'll take a little time on that.
But apparently, this said this is like the second one this year, I think. Turtle that'd go to the I don't know, reptile center.
Second turtle was hit in Northern Colorado Wildlife Center in October after being hit by a car. So they're saying if you see a turtle on the road, try your best not to run into it.
What is an animal, presumably, and be honest about this, that you think you could hit with your car, you've injured it, but probably you're not going to take it to the vet? Right? You hit a dog,
a possum.
You're taking it, right. Like, if it's a possum, I just don't know that I would stop for a turtle,
a deer, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
you can't really put the deer in the car.
Sorry, man.
Because if it wakes up, man, you got a deer in your car.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. You're probably not taking that deer.
All right, deer, that's right. Turtle. You hit the turtle. We realize we have hit the turtle.
Do I stop?
Are you stopping the car and taking it to your
I'm stopping to figure out what I hit, because I'm not sure in that instance I would know. It would probably come in my view pretty quick.
Okay. Well, so there's a turtle.
I'd probably stop to see what it was that I ran over.
And when we say, hey, man, it's a common-ass snapping turtle, are you putting it in the car?
No, because according to the Northern Colorado Wildlife Center, you should not even touch it. Instead, you contact them.
Are you going to contact them?
So now that I know that, if I'm in Colorado and happen to be driving along and hit a turtle, I know who to call.
I think it depends on the road, too.
What do you mean?
Like, if you're just on a slow road going 25 and you run over a turtle, you check on it. If it's a highway and you run over them at 55, you keep going.
I don't know what the hell I hit, man.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a different... Now you're taking your life into your own hands. You're getting out on a highway to check this turtle. I mean, the dude's got a show.
I ran over a family of grouse or pheasants or something in Wenatchee, man. That was...
What, in the car?
Yeah. I mean, they were walking on the side of the road. I'm going 55, 60 miles an hour. All of a sudden, Mom makes a left-hand turn into the road, literally 20 feet in front of my car. All I see, it looked like somebody blew up a cotton candy stand when I looked in my rearview mirror. Man, it was just like this misty pink blood cloud. You know, I was like, oh, God, I hear. I was like, oh, God.
Why is it that when you kill animals, the entire family goes?
They're all involved.
You run over the bunny. It's like all of them.
I felt horrible.
You don't hit a grouse. You take out all of them.
I pull over and I pull bird parts out of my front of my car and my grill. I'm like, like, God, I told you about that when I came back. Like, dude, I mowed down a whole family. Like, I don't know if they're pheasants or quail. Or,
well, they're nothing now.
I don't know what the hell they were. Yeah. R.I.P.
Random.
So much sincerity.
R.I.P. It's like someone who tweets it out. R.I.P.
Yeah, no.
Hello. You care a lot.
Hello, Justin. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. Justin, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's see here. All right, Justin, how about this one? For better or worse, which member of your family would you say you look like the most?
Oh, that's an easy one. Me and the old man, spitting image, and if we were both on the phone together, you wouldn't be able to tell us apart voice-wise.
What's the most marked characteristic? Is it the nose, the eyes, the whole thing?
Giant penis?
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, probably the whole face, eyes, nose, mouth, beard, hair, everything. We're pretty much the same.
Now, when you look at him, because your parents, and you're lucky because you look like your dad, so you can see yourself 20, 30, 40 years in the future. Is this a good thing? You're like, all right, not so bad. Or you're like, oh, boy, it gets ugly.
No, we're good. We're good looking family.
All right, that helps. My problem is I look like my mom. So no matter how old she gets, I'm like, unless I get boobs, I don't know how this works for me.
Yeah, but there's the same facial structure. I mean, you can kind of see you when you look at your mom.
But she's still like, look,
your mom is unreasonably skinny for,
Right, we both got that.
So you both have the skinny gene, no matter what. Now, granted, you're a foot taller than she is.
Yes, almost exactly, right.
But, I mean, like.
But I don't know how I am going to. I see how she, like, my brother looks like my father. So at least and he's always looked like my father. So there are some things he could have anticipated that I did not anticipate because I spent my life, you look like your mom, right? You fast forward, I'm like, oh, see, I was not predicting the bald spot to come in.
I was going to say.
Because I look at my mom, and obviously
she has a full head of hair.
Unreasonable, but
my
brother
your mom would look bald.
Like me.
Right.
Yeah, we know how it looks.
Exactly.
You look at it every day. What if she'd start rocking hats?
Wigs, man, wigs.
Oh, she'd wig it out.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way. My mom would not go around bald if she were bald.
My grandmother still sports a wig, man.
Is she bald?
My mom still got him. She keeps her hair short enough where she can wear them.
Mm-hmm. Right, I get that. A lot of older women do.
But she purposefully keeps it short. So
just to put on a wig.
Yeah. So she can
and what I like about the wigs, like, especially old women, in my experience, and it's always grandmothers, it's not that they wore a wig. It's that they had a collection of wigs like you have shoes, right? So if you were going to a funeral, you have your dress shoes. You're not wearing tennis shoes, right? And grandma would be like, oh, hang on. I got to get my funeral wig, which was different than her wedding wig, which was different than her going to church wig, which was different than grocery store wig, which was different than holiday people coming over to the house wig. So it's just this collection of wigs, and she knew each one. They all look the same to me, but she seemed to be able to tell them apart, and depending on the situation, instant hair.
Razor asks, for better or worse, which member of your family do you look like the most? The Chinese goat farm is using facial recognition to spot animals that are related and stop them from getting incestuous. They say even farm animals in China can't avoid being tracked by the latest technology. Vert City Farm, based in Shanghai, is now trying facial recognition technology to stop incest among its flock. And they could set this whole rollout out next year. The AI technology uses a camera to track goats that are housed together that may be related to one another based on color coding. If two related goats start trying to mate, the technology will send staff members at the farm updates on their phone so they can put a stop to it. The system will, quote, improve work efficiency and quality of livestock by eliminating incest-related birth defects. It can also recognize other characteristics in each of the goats, including their behavior, body shape, and exercise patterns, as well as early stages of disease, including sore mouth and diarrhea.
Oh, wow.
It uses infrared to measure each goat's body temperature and can alert staff if it rises above 104 degrees. Much like, humans will go having fever. Same
I
exact
get
deal.
that part, but with the incestuous thing, I mean, don't you think the goats know if they're related to each other?
I don't know. Thanks to the technology. Well, humans know if they're related. That doesn't stop them. The farm only needs to hire 7 people.
That's what I'm saying, because now you're rushing. Like, look, you know if you're having sex with your cousin, but if I get like an alert on my phone, I'm not going to kick down your bedroom door and tell you to stop. I might say you're nasty.
Yeah, 10 people
But if you live in an area where, like, you don't know your cousins, how would you know?
Would you want an alert? All right, so Ted, we some rural community, whatever, and you have no idea this is your cousin. You've never met before. And you guys get drunk. It's going to be that night, and as things are getting hot and heavy, like an alert goes off on your phone. So, Ted, this is your whatever cousin.
Yeah, I like it. Hit me. Let the goats know. Now, if the goats continue, they're sick.
But that's what I mean. Like, do goats care if they have sex?
Well, that's the other thing, right? Do the goats care?
Because if this is the problem, that tells me that for as long as goats have been around, this is just something they do. Not all the time, right? But if you're shacking up with your sister goat, like, if they don't care, why do you care?
And, I mean, there's some people, like, there's some animals that eat their babies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think we can attach the same standards. Because you're right. In the goat community, incest might just be fine.
Yeah. I don't know if we need to apply our moral compass.
Based on the number of birth defects is what they're trying to stop.
I see. I see. Right. Like diarrhea. Hello, Jay. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, guys.
Hola.
Jay, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's go with this one. We just had a caller said she ran over a 12-year-old boy's dog. I've ran over a whole family of bunnies cutting the grass.
And?
Didn't feel real good about that. So what thing made you sad when you were growing up? You know what I mean? Just something happened out of the blue. Maybe you watched E.T. I don't know. But what made you sad?
Let's see, what made me sad? Probably the death of my favorite cat.
Okay.
That'll do it.
How old were you?
She was I don't know how old she was. She wandered up as a stray, and we just started feeding her, and she hung around for like 6-7 years, and then she got hit by a car.
Yeah. So she was an indoor-outdoor cat or just an outdoor cat?
Indoor, outdoor, depending on the weather.
Okay. And
Maybe you should have kept her indoor.
So this was not
The car drove to the house,
obviously
Ted.
not a feral cat because you were able to bring it into the house. So it was just a cat that liked to go out and explore and do the hunting and all that stuff.
Right.
Okay. What was the cat's
and
name?
I hit a turtle one time, too.
Oh, you did?
You hit a turtle. Now, did you get out of your car to check on it?
Well, see, here's the thing. This is back when I lived down south. A buddy and I were driving through town, and we clipped this turtle on the side of the road. So he's like, pull over. I want to go check on it. So he goes back to check on it. Next thing I see, he's come running toward my truck, holding this turtle at arm's length, shouting obscenity. It was not a box turtle. It was an alligator snapping turtle.
What's the difference as far as could he take the head out of the shell and turn around and bite your buddy?
Yes, he could have.
And what did you end up doing with the turtle?
He ended up taking him home as a pet.
This sounds like a terrible idea.
Wait, the snapping turtle that he's screaming obscenities for the obvious reason. So how long did he keep this thing as a pet?
Oh, Lord. He had the thing for about 6 years before we finally turned it loose in a pond somewhere.
Okay.
Damn. Okay.
All right. Reason we asked, what thing made you sad when you were growing up? As you know, big cats at zoos have contracted COVID during the pandemic previously, but this time the cases are fatal. The Lincoln Children's Zoo in Nebraska.
Oh, no.
Says 3 snow leopards, Mike, Rainey, Everest, and Macaulay, have died after testing positive last month, according to CBS News. They were the star attraction at the facility for years. According to the Washington Post, this loss is truly heartbreaking. We're all grieving together. Zoo said in a statement. Meanwhile, 2 Sumatran tigers at the same zoo appear to have recovered from the virus. Now, believe it or not, generally zoo animals are believed to catch COVID from their human handlers. The animals can spread it to one another, though no cases have been reported of an animal spreading the disease back to a human. Some zoos have begun vaccinating animals, though it wasn't immediately clear if these snow leopards had received any vaccine. They were tested after they began exhibiting symptoms in October. The zoo is not closing and continues to take every precaution to prevent the spread of COVID-19 to humans and animals.
Why is it always a children's zoo?
This was their star attraction there. The 3, they were, I saw a picture of these.
Only children allowed.
They were,
It's actually a really nice concept. There's a bar across the street with the parents hanging.
just drop the kids off.
You just drop them off there, and the people that work there go, you know what, screw it. We'll watch them. You don't even have to come in and check it out. Bad news, though, children. The snow leopards are dead.
That's a zoo I'd go to. That sucks. That's a Star Trek.
Are you here for the snow leopards? Yeah.
That's why you went there.
Right? Are you excited?
More
For the
than-
snow leopards? Yeah, they're dead.
More than moose outside should have told you.
Remember the ones you colored last year before we took that trip?
Yeah, remember you named them?
You got the zoo coloring book.
Yeah.
Even though you normally don't use white crayons, you do with these snow leopards.
You loved them that much, did you?
More of the random question coming up, 206-421.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
En Lowe's tenemos grandes inventarios disponibles en cientos de productos que los profesionales necesitan todos los días, como tejas, concreto, madera y más. Y ahora te los entregamos al día siguiente directamente en tu obra. Empieza hoy y ordena en línea o visita el mostrador para pros en tiendas. Disponible de lunes a sábado en artículos selectos en inventario solo en el área metropolitana de Charlotte, sujeto a disponibilidad. Para pedidos hechos antes de las 4 p.m. Más detalles en el mostrador para pros.
The future will be amazing, and that's all well and good. But what about today? You can feel the rush of a 400-horsepower Nissan Z. Or climb to new heights in the all-terrain Nissan Frontier. Light up the road in the all-electric Nissan Aria that feels like a sci-fi dream come true. The future will be great, but today is made for thrill. All you have to do is get in a Nissan and drive. 2023 Aria and Z not yet available for purchase. Expected availability is this spring for 2023 Z and this fall for 2023 Aria.
99.9 KISW. The men's room is in progress.
Doing it live, KISW Live Day this Thursday, Snoqualmie Casino. After 50 years of KISW, we finally get to invite you back to the audience and hang out. BJ and Miggs, and our show will be completely live. Beat Miggs in the morning, Big Dummy in the afternoon. The head chef will be in the house and everything. Sound effects, commercials, music. Nothing is pre-recorded. It is live on stage. All the bands, absolutely everything is done live in front of you, the studio audience, that you'll be a part of the festivities as well. Our tickets are on sale now, KISW.com. You can check out BJ and Miggs in the morning. There are packages for that. Our show as well. A few tickets remain, as well as tickets for both shows. If you want to hang out and spend the entire day at Snoqualmie Casino. But we're celebrating 50 years here on The Rock. Love to see you this Thursday. KISW presents Live Day. And what is this, our fourth or fifth year of doing this? When we did it initially,
or seventh, maybe.
We were in studio. Did that for a couple of years, correct?
Yeah.
And then we got out in front of a live studio audience, and we've been doing it ever since. I can't remember how many. God, we've been here for a number of years.
I think this is our sixth, I think.
Sixth Live Day?
Because I want to say we did 2 in studio. Right. Then we did.
We did not do one last year, right?
2 in front of an audience. Last year we did it, but not in front of an audience, right?
Okay,
remember all the bands were in different locations,
exactly.
all that. I think this is our 6th. Could be our 7th. I don't remember a lot of stuff.
Either way.
I'm just guessing.
Yeah. We want to see you there. Get a beer. It'll be a fun time. KISW presents Live Day this Thursday at Snoqualmie Casino. All the details and ticket packages and tickets at KISW.com. All right, it's our random question. Question 206-421-ROCK.
Random.
Hello, Stephen. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores.
Stephen, welcome to the program. And the random question. You seem like the kind of guy that can answer this. What have you bought illegally or on the black market?
A lot.
Okay.
A watch. All right.
Did you say a lot or a watch?
No, a lot.
Oh, a lot.
From cocaine, marijuana when it used to be illegal. Even my younger days, we were getting Chinese stars from the guy at the counter at the corner store selling to us. He wasn't supposed to.
Did he have them out on display, or was it just something you knew he had, and he go to the back room?
Because you were too young to be able to get them.
Right, we were too young, so you had to know who to ask for.
Yeah.
You had to ask for George, which George didn't work there, but by asking for George, let him know that you wanted some Chinese throwing stars.
Okay. It wasn't uncommon to go into a convenience store in Baltimore, and there was this case that was on the counter. It was in a plastic type case. Different types of knives. Knives that look like switchblades. Some were combs. Brass knuckles were included in
That's
that
right,
case.
spiked knuckles.
Spiked knuckles.
They would sell the occasional umbrella where if you pull the stem from the fold-out part, it was basically a dagger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those were cool.
I don't remember the throwing stars being in there.
I do remember the throwing stars.
Were they in there as well?
Yeah,
for sure.
If you needed a weapon that was not a gun, they had it right there next to the Snickers bar.
And they also had white crosses in there, too.
Oh, yeah.
So you could get your trucker speed, you could get your brass knuckles, man, you could head out on the highway.
Have you ever bought anything other than the throwing stars and drugs? Have you bought anything? Because if you're buying drugs, right, we know black market, right?
Right.
Anything else? Cars, speakers, the occasional pair of socks?
No, I never messed with that. I would always get a bad vibe or something, thinking it was stolen. Here we go. One time I bought and the lesson learned, some dude at the grocery store came up to me and was like, hey, you want to buy this laptop? Yes, I do, for $80. So I bought it, and that was many years ago. But yeah,
Okay.
I would consider that on the black market.
My buddy bought speakers out of the back of a van they weren't bad. They were kind of cool looking, but they were a no-name brand.
Of course.
They lasted for about a year until he blew them out of the party. Like anything else.
But how much did he spend on?
100-watt amp. I don't remember, but it seemed they were big tower speakers. Mm-hmm. It seemed like a deal at the time.
Of course.
Compared to the other regular price of whatever. But again, this is in cash, no taxes, basically just out of the back of a van, in a grocery store parking lot, I believe is where he picked it
Yeah,
up.
I mean, I bought a ton of stuff. CDs, DVDs, cologne.
Yeah,
golf
absolutely,
clubs.
man. I mean, they just set up shop directly outside of the store. There was a woman yesterday. Yesterday morning. Stopped at the gas station to grab cigarettes, and as I'm walking out, and she is methed out of her mind, but she had a cell phone that's still in the box, and she says, hey, and this was her sales pitch. I'm trying to sell my phone for $100, and I'm going to use that money to get better. And I said, do I have dumbass written on my forehead? Because if I do, I just want to wipe that off. I was like, no, come on.
No.
And she went to everybody else.
$100.
What have you bought illegally or on the black
get
market?
better.
We got a
To
ton
get
of them.
better. That's
What's
what I'm
wrong
like,
with you?
Come on.
Tons of turtle stories.
We have more.
We do. We go to Las Vegas. Illegal turtle selling can now be added to the list of odd things tourists can witness on the Las Vegas Strip. On Sunday, Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Captain Dory Corin shared a video of officers encountering a group of people standing on the Strip selling what looked to be baby turtles. Later in the video, police discovered that the group was storing all the turtles in a suitcase. Toward the end of the video, police said to have rescued the turtles from the suitcase. It is unclear what exactly happened to the baby turtles and if the turtle sellers were fined or any of that. But yes, on the Strip in Vegas, selling turtles.
I mean, usually
Out of
I
a
at
suitcase.
least understand why you're like I said, even a woman with a cell phone yesterday, like, I'm not going to buy this from you, but I get it. It's a phone. People use phones. The speakers, people use speakers. Like a turtle.
What's a burner phone cost, though?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Because you would think that would be less than $100, right? I mean, they don't need to be the best phone. They just need to work.
Basic.
Yeah, you're talking about like a prepaid phone?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I had a burner phone when we got the job here in Seattle. That's the only thing I called him on.
Who's that?
The hair club.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I had. And not because I was doing anything illegal. I was just broke.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, I would talk to him, so you pay for your minutes, right? And I remember we're having a conversation. He had just given us the job, and I don't know if he could hear it, but this woman's voice pops on to tell me I got like 2 minutes left. So I'm like, hey, if you could just hurry it up because my phone's about to die. It's like it's about to die. I'm like, in a matter of speaking.
Yeah.
Give me like 20 minutes, I can call you back. And I'd run down to the CVS, buy another card, load the thing back up, and call him back.
Random.
Hello, Mike. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola. Mike, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's see here, Mike.
Appreciate it. Hey, I got to tell you real quick. The guy that you just talked to a few minutes ago, you asked him who he looked like in his family.
Yeah.
That was my son.
Oh, that was your son.
All right.
Now, do you agree with him that you guys look alike?
Apparently, everybody says we do. I was kind of shocked, Phil, when you asked him, looking in the future, looking at me, how does he feel about that? I'm surprised you didn't say, everything's good except my old man's bald.
Well, see, that's going to be my son's problem, man. Because, God, he looks just like you. I'm like, right. But he has a mop of hair on his head. And while he likes to make fun of me for being bald, I just keep my mouth shut. And keep in mind, I went bald like in my 20s, man. So it's not like he's got to wait. So I'm like, all right, you keep talking, Jack. See how that goes,
Yeah,
bro.
live it up now.
Yeah, have fun with your hair.
All right, let's go with this question here. What would you say is the most ridiculous thing that you've done for money? The most ridiculous thing that you've done for money?
Oh, man.
It's a loaded question.
Yeah.
And your son's listening.
Yeah, he should be home by now, but he knows everything I've ever done, but I can't think of anything stupid I've done for money.
I mean, even if it's just the stuff, chug a beer, drink the spit cup, anything.
Mm-hmm. Selling a car you should have kept?
Man, you guys always stump me on this. I don't know why I call on random questions. I always get stumped.
Okay.
I sold a jersey one time that was an autographed jersey from Desmond Mason, but I wish I would have held on to it. Just for the money.
How much did you sell it for?
$500.
Well,
I can see the temptation there, man. That's kind of...
Well, what do you think it would be worth now? You just want to.
I don't think it'd be worth anything.
You just have it.
I don't think it'd be worth anything more. But I've got some Sonics memorabilia that I wish I still had that jersey to go with it. But I mean, it's a long story. I won it at a basketball game. Well, actually, I didn't win it. I won it at an auction that I wasn't expecting to win. And so I had to get the money back so my wife didn't kill me.
Okay,
I think you made the right choice, bro.
Well, it cost me $500 in the auction. Like I said, I thought it would go for a lot more than that. And then I found out that it didn't, and so then I had to explain to her why I spent $500 on a jersey that we didn't have at the time.
That you're never going to wear, right?
I think the most ridiculous scam that I ever ran, and we bring this up a lot, was from either the BMI Record and Tape Club and the Columbia House Record and Tape Club. So basically what we would do, there was the house next door, new students would come in every year. All right. So it was always a rotating door. So we knew the names of the people who lived next door. Now, at the end of the spring semester, they are gone for the entire summer.
Right.
Which is just enough time to order the CDs from the Record and Tape Club, get them delivered next door to their house, to the mailbox, even though they're not going to be living there the following year.
Of course.
So when students come back in the fall, it's going to be a totally new set of neighbors, all right? So we knew 6 guys living in that house. We knew all their names. So all of us would get as many CDs as we, because sometimes it's like 12 CDs.
How many CDs do you think you got total running this scam?
We also knew that if we doubled up on CDs that we could sell back to the record stores that were selling used CDs. The ploy wasn't necessarily, because look, every one of those CD clubs basically had the same standard choices available.
Sure.
No matter what. You just wanted to get like a Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon, or a Zeppelin 4, or a Guns N' Roses.
So what, would you order 2 of them and then sell the ones back unopened?
You might double them up with different names. Exactly. And then take them to the place that bought used, quote, used CDs. They would give you premium price. Then we would take that money and buy drugs. Now, it wasn't that we didn't save or keep 1 or 2 of the CDs for ourselves.
Sure.
If there was something on there that we wanted, whatever. We'd get, like my one buddy, Joe. Joe was this guy.
So wait, you financed your drug habit by ordering the CDs through other people's names and then selling those CDs to the local record shop, taking said cash and getting high.
Correct. And
I'd have been in on that.
Then my one buddy, Joe, he probably had 500, maybe 1,000 or so CDs that he had in his room. They were all alphabetically, he had them in alphabetical order. It was just a wall of CDs. Well, every once in a while, we would go in there and he had so many CDs. We're like, look, if we take 4 of Joe's CDs and sell them back, he will never know that we took any of his CDs. Like
in alphabetical order?
Yeah.
Come on,
He's
man.
He's going to know.
Well, that was the problem, was he would go and look for something just dumb to listen to. And then he would come out in the living room and go, "Where's Kansas's greatest hits?" And I'm like, "I don't know, Joe. Maybe you misfiled it." Then I go in there and look and act like, "Surely, man, maybe you just put it in under G, greatest hits, instead of K. I don't see it in here, man. You got point of no return or whatever this is." But
did he ever piece it together?
I think he maybe knew. But I mean, we were taking crap for the most part. Like, surely he will never listen to this again.
How many CDs do you think you pilfered from him?
Probably 10, 15.
That's not as bad as I thought you were going to say.
5 at a time. Typically, we just use that for drinking money. But, because he has so many CDs. And he listens to the same ones over and over and over and over again. He's never going to listen to Marillion. Who the hell buys Marillion? Even the guy you buy it back goes, "Jesus, who buys Marillion? I'll give you $2. You go take it." Go.
It is interesting, though, when you commit crimes and theft, that you already have it planned out and it's fine in your mind.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he had thousands of them. That microphone was underneath a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, it's like
nobody knew it was there. It's like, you still stole it.
Yeah. It's like when you knew you weren't gonna pay for the meal at the diner.
Yeah.
You had it pre-planned. You knew you were going to leave.
Right, but I don't sit here and try to be like, look, I paid for other dinners. It's fine. They were going to serve food anyhow.
I'm just explaining.
Like, the look on your face, you're just like, no. I mean, he had that, like, we're not even coming down on you, and you're already, like, defending it.
Not a big deal.
He's fine.
Yeah. DVDs, too.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, Ty. Welcome to the men's room.
Random.
How's it going?
Hola.
Ty, welcome to the program. Random question. All right, let's see here. Okay. Ty, let's go with this one. What first moments would you like to relive in your lifetime?
Oh, boy.
They had a new poll out there that said nothing more memorable than experiencing something for the first time. And out of that, 71% of people wish they could relive some of their favorite firsts.
Oh, the favorites, yeah, I remember that. First time I had mono. Would like to not relive that.
No, first time I touched a boob. I mean, just like all kinds of just weird, not that it's the biggest deal in the world, but to me,
at the time, that is the biggest deal on this planet.
I mean, I just walked around with my arms in the air like Rocky. You know what I mean? Running up the steps for weeks, you know? So what first moment would you like to relive?
Probably be the first time that I got some action.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Was it?
Would you rather? Okay, let me ask you this: would you rather relive the first time you got some action, or after you got action, the first time you got to see whoever naked, knowing that this particular person was the person to throw in the action?
Probably the first time that I got some action.
Okay.
I was super baked.
Once again, bedroom colors, here are the 7 words you can't say on the radio. Sucker, mother, and please keep those words in mind when calling. Now, back to the program.
All right, so all kinds of weird stuff was going on.
Stuff. Yeah, it was just weird, paranoid. It was interesting. It was not like any other time, for sure.
Would you like to go back in time just to experience it without being so baked?
Yeah, because I was out of my head.
All right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I definitely was not baked. I was very, very aware and alert.
I was not baked either, but I was terrified.
Yeah,
I was excited and I was scared to death at the same time.
You know what's sad? Because, you're a virgin. You know what it is you would like to do, but you're not entirely sure of the mechanics of it, so to speak. And I swear to God, I channeled Penthouse Forum and all the crap I'd read there as far as technique to do things, et cetera, and it probably saved my life.
I mean, that's serious when it was not my idea. So it was.
No, I believe that.
It was the other person's idea.
No, I do not believe that. Sorry.
And and I was not prepared at that point in time for anything even remotely like that to go down.
So you had zero idea.
I had zero idea, and I'm like, really? With me? Are you sure you want to do this? Like, I was questioning every decision that was being made at the time. Like,
no, that's stupid.
Why? I know, because I was so shocked.
I was like, okay.
I know, but I was like, okay, fine. You know what I mean? We got down with it, but I was just like, I was absolutely mortified.
Sure.
I mean, I thought I could know what I was doing, but I didn't know what I was doing.
I think I was okay. Once she was naked, I was like, game on. I mean, I was just this wasn't about touching a boob. This was a fully naked, consenting human being across from me, and it's like, oh, this is awesome already.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to know what you're doing when you've never done it.
That is correct, but I did not mind learning.
No. Yeah, that was one of those.
You know what I mean? Like
one of those classes I didn't mind taking.
I didn't like school very much, but man, oh man, when it came to that, I'm like, tell me anything you need me to know.
The reason we asked, what first moment would you like to relive? A lot of people have fond memories of the first time they did something, whether the experience was positive or not. And a new poll, 82% of people said there's nothing more memorable than experiencing something for the first time. And 71% of people wish they could relive some of their favorite firsts. Now, they didn't specify which ones they would revisit, but people were asked for the first they remember the most. The top 10 are your first job.
Okay.
I do remember that. Your first love. Your first kiss. Your first pet. Rest in peace, Sunshine. That was the only puppy I've ever gotten in my life.
Are you kidding?
One thing I raised from a puppy. You know, most of the time you get a rescue dog, older dog.
And now she's burning in hell.
Yeah, but raising a puppy.
Same with Tigger.
A lot of work. First car. You guys all remember your first car.
Sure.
I wrecked that within a month. Your first concert. Duran and the Go-Go's.
I saw Kiss and Queensryche.
Your first...
No, it was Kiss and Night Ranger.
Your first best friend. First home on your own. First international trip and first night out after your 21st birthday. Others have made the list. Your first cell phone, first computer, first day of college, and first time voting. There's some of the other ones on there. Unfortunately, there can be a list of the least memorable first because they're all too dull to remember. But either way, they came up with the top 10. Still to come, your guess is as good as mine in categories today. The best sports cities in the United States and the fattest states in America. You are listening to The Men's Room.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Find the gifts Dad craves at Lowe's. Right now, you can save on select Skill Power Core 12 tools that feature 25% longer runtime and have patented cooling technology. Save $10 off the Skill Power Core 12 brushless drill driver kit, now just $59.98. Or upgrade Dad's toolbox and save $30 on the 5-tool brushless combo kit, now just $169. There's nothing sweeter than Father's Day at Lowe's. Offer valid 6/9 through 6/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.